Good morning, YouTube, on this beautiful sunny day. Bear with us, this is our first video. And as you can see, my Project E24 Shark, it's an 87L6. Kind of a basket case when I got it. Was completely green from sitting. Had no exhaust manifolds in it. Mice in the engine block. Got it cleaned up, got it running. New front suspension. New brake lines all the way through, front and rear. ECS tuning, stainless steel lines in the rear. Could not get the ones in the front in time, so I just went with the factory. Does have a MagnaFlow muffler on it, brand new cats. She has been a long-term project here for about a year. So bear with us as we start our journey on YouTube here with our Euro Dreams Garage. As you can see, she got a little rust. Rear tail lights. Most people want a fortune for parts for this car. So we're going to turn this into a, more or less just a driver track car, possibly. Do have a friend that really is interested in purchasing it from me and has been hounding me about it. So you can see it's still dirty. Does have some nice 18-inch rims. They are on 10mm spacers, but they have been stud converted. Has brand new Kumho tires. Got the Euro clears on the side. Was able to pick them up off of eBay, pretty reasonable. Has been lowered on H&R lowering springs for the E24 chassis. Same as the E28 for the same year. Rims need some touch-up paint. Probably be cleaned up and powder coated eventually. Of course, if you look, you can still see where it's all nice and dirty. Hasn't been washed. Got an E36 bucket seat and a factory seat. Has been 5-speed converted. I did put a set of toggle switches in it just for the fact that everything was pretty much stripped out of this car and didn't know where any wiring was. Figured out the wiring for the windows, so I was able to put a toggle switch on it so I could have it powered off and on when I needed it. I do have the rear seats for it. As you can see, it's full of trim and panels and some wiring. Door sills are pretty shot. I had to put a dash pad on it, but of course the Florida sun has caused it to warp in the front. Still need to do some trim work on it. The original door panel, which is going to come off. The other one's pretty sad. Of course, got new carpet, needs to be cleaned up, needs to be fitted properly. Door handle is nice and needing to be greased. A little bit more rust. Not very much rust on it. Overall, in pretty good shape. Plan on doing a new white paint job on it at Christmas and do a DIY. Paint reasonable price, clear coat. Make me a makeshift spray booth, but having said that, painting isn't the hard part. It's making sure you don't get dust and debris and dry times are done right, and sand and prep, which this is not going to be a perfect paint job by no means. It's just to clean it up and make it a good driver. You see it does have the third pedal, which is going to be fun. Speedometer does not work, so I got one of them little digital ones. When you turn on the switch right there, it will come on. I do have a scrubbing on the brake in the passenger rear. Pop the hood here real quick. Has not been started in about a week. You can see everything's pretty much there. Had to fix some wiring, got some more stuff I need to do, some shoddy wiring work. There's some issues with the crank sensor wire. Don't know if it's crank or one of the sensors down there. I have replaced all the vacuum lines with some good silicone vacuum lines. I did buy a bunch of parts from Rock Auto. They had a bunch of parts for this car on sale. Did do a new distributor cap, wiring, and plugs. But overall, she's a good driver. I have driven it a few, probably about 100 miles total since I've gotten it, even though I just now got tires put on it. Did have a hose issue with it leaking at the fuel rail there. She does need to be cleaned up good. Did get a cover. Was able to pick that up here in Florida, down in Orlando. Wiper motor still works, only on high. Gonna have to figure out the relay. But was able to put in a new blower motor. Was able to use the old squirrel cages. Started up for the first time this week. Does show 158,000 miles, but speedometer does not work. Let's see here. All right, now back to, since the phone rang, might as well get back to the first start here. See if I can get you a good little view here of the engine starting. Fires right up. Tach does work. Now it does have to check. It has brake light issues, of course. Speedometer does not work, unfortunately. Parking brake light does work. It needs some odds and ends, like the hazard buttons busted. The temperature controls do work. It does have AC, but it is not charged. I am working on that. I would need to get a new condenser for it. Tracked it down. It just needs a condenser. Flip on the switch. Of course, it gets the power for the speedometer. Window does go down. One of the windows will go down. There it goes. Come on, he's gonna go down. There we go. We got the switch in backwards. Might help if I put the switch in right, but the windows do go down. The back window does go down on that side, but I'm afraid to bring it all the way down yet until I get the stuff off of it. This side, not so much. Then again, it may not be plugged in. Well, it is plugged in. As you can see, she idles good. She runs great. No fuel rail issues right now. Needs to be cleaned good, but that's in the future. While she is idling here and getting, she'll on my back up here in a little bit and do a little sand on it and see how good the sanding comes out. But while we're here, might as well show you Project Drop Top, our 86 VW Rabbit convertible, Wolfsburg edition, body by Karmann, which I'm thinking about taking the bumpers off completely. Did like the look of one the other day when I seen it. Somewhere on here is the hood release. Right there, push back, maybe push up, push something. It does have the little 4-cylinder in it. It does work. The battery's not right for it. That's just one we borrowed from my uncle. I do have a fuel leak, not sure where it's coming from. Maybe from that filter right there. Maybe from a line coming up to it. We did notice that the tank was full of old gas. I mean, when I say old, it was varnish. And it ran on it, but not very well. Wouldn't stay idling. We did get it to run. Had to push it on the trailer when we got it. But everything's here. It had an old alarm system in it, looks like. Still has an AC pump, which is amazing. Don't even know if it has antifreeze in it. Looks like the overflow tank does, so possibly. Nope, there's the overflow tank. Maybe not. Does not have brakes, which my son found out when we were putting it on the trailer as he about drove it off the trailer. The other end. Of course, interior isn't the best, which you probably can't see very well. Shows 93,000 miles. Does have an original Alpine brake deck in it. I do have door cards for it, trim. Back seat's not as bad, could be used. A little TLC, has no top. So I've been thinking about a kind of a, let's figure this thing out, kind of maybe pull the whole top off of it, make a custom, like sunny day car, need to keep in storage, but try to get this water off of it as it's going to go where I don't want it to, all over me. But it does have the nice Wolfsburg rims on it and something crawling down my back. Tires are ancient and about to blow apart, which we do have a lead on some tires, but it's got the beautiful Wolfsburg badge on it. And body's in pretty good shape, has one little rust spot. As you can see, nothing major. Little patchwork, and there's that other rust spot. But everything else is in pretty good shape. More to come on this as we start working on it come first of the year. Son and I are trying to get our stuff together. Of course, we do have the trailer that we tow with. Real nice trailer. 5-inch C-channel. Dual 3,500-pound axles. Never had an issue with it. I do have a winch for it. And then I do have my tow vehicle, which is a 2003 Hummer H2. 170,000 miles, runs like a top. Son's done valve cover gaskets for me. Found a water leak. We've done in and outer tie rods, new rims. Well, not new, new to me. Some moto metals. And you're thinking, okay, Euro car garage, why don't you have some type of European SUV to tow with? Well, I like to be able to tow when I need to tow, and I know I like an X5, but maybe a G-Wagon. But the Hummer came along at the right price. Couldn't find one that I wanted in the price range, so we just went with the Hummer. Which I like my GM vehicles. I've always had them. My last tow rig was an 18 Silverado that was lowered. So as you can see, this is going to be a good little project. I have a bunch of spare parts. I do have a set of the chrome. Don't know sure what rim or wheels they are. Do have some extra spare parts. Let's see what's in the toolkit. I haven't really even looked at this. And 3 of the 6 wrenches. Or 7 inches, 4, 5, 6 wrenches. I can't count this morning, it is Sunday. Just need to clean it up, spray it really good. But she is a driver. Let's get her backed up here in front of the garage so I can do some test spots. Hey look, there's my cell phone. Good place for it. Now, when I did get the car originally, the clutch was barely bled enough to get it on the trailer, which I drove it over to my son's work after I had parked it for a while. Been doing all this work on it, and it was pretty rough getting it into gear and stuff, getting to do what I needed to do with it. But having said that, we found that it needed tires really bad. He got me a good set on Kumho's Escadas. His boss gave me a good deal on a set, so he put them on for me. We did an alignment on it because I hadn't done an alignment yet. And basically I've only ran 3 tanks of gas out of it so far. But as you can see, used to have tan carpet in it. I went with black, make it easier. It does have the rear AC, but I don't know how I'm going to delete that. I'm sure there's a way, but for now I'm going to try to figure out a way to make this into a kind of a track car. Need to get rid of some of the mold that's in there, some dirt, spray it down with some bleach and stuff. See what happens. Try not to make myself sick doing it. Did do an ozone treatment on it. Of course, rims are something I picked up for free. I bought a set from a lady. She had these on her 3 Series, and one of the rims was going flat all the time. Found which one it was, which was this back one right here. And I ground it down, put a little metal epoxy on it. Just had a small little leak. Was able to get that satisfied. But it does have all the trim, which I may go black with. Sand it down, scuff it up. Do all this in black. Along with this up front here. I know this is a luxury model, but some of you may get mad and put stuff in comments. But at the end of the day, it's not a candidate for a restoration for sure for now. Maybe one day we shall see, as we get some nice bees that want to have some activity here. But as for this video, I am calling it quits. I'm going to start doing a little work with it first, and we'll get back on it. And hopefully around Christmas time, you'll see some paint work done on it. It does run like a top. Goes through all the gears just fine. And thank you all for watching. Like and subscribe. Help me build this channel. If you like what you see, Eurocar content, we'll have more for you. Go by the dealership where we bought our M3 Comp and, show you what's new there as we take it for washes or oil changes or whatever. We'll do a little info on that. You'll see Project Drop Top coming soon. My son's car, which is Project Blue Devil, which is his 2014 Mercedes C250. It's got a nice set of AMG wheels on it. You'll see that here soon. We're going to be doing some body work to it. Touch up the paint on the spoiler and the front bumper. I do have parts for sale. I've got an E36 bumper. E36 trunk lid, door panel, rim. A few other parts for E36. Computer, steering wheel, odds and ends, which I'll be listing here soon. I do have parts for the E28, E24. I do have a lot of stereo equipment for some odd reason. But we'll get into that later. Y'all have a good day.